push. Let's go. At least 2. Come on. Let me see 2. All right, welcome back. A long time no see. We're all braced up right now. And before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you so much for all the love, all the support, you know, people reaching out to me, the DMs, the comments. It really means the world to me. You know, long story short, I tore both my biceps, partially tore my quad. And, you know, just to be honest, my mental hasn't been the best. So, you know, all the love, you guys reaching out to me, it means so much to me. You know, it's literally getting me out of bed every single morning, but we're pushing through. And with that, one of the biggest things that I'm trying to stay locked in right now is with my diet. You know, since I can't train right now, you know, I can do a bit of cardio, a little bit limited there, some light PT work, some light leg work, but you know, I can't use the calories, you know, the way that I used to. So keeping the diet in check is one of the biggest things. You know, when I do get back into the gym, since this is only temporary, you know, I will get back into the gym one day, and you know, I don't want to be a fat slob when we get there. So doing a little meal prep. We got the air fried chicken. I'm doing something different. I did like a little bit of a pulled chicken. It's you know, just chicken in the pan, a little bit of beef stock, some pepper, garlic, salt, and then you know, we got the typical air fried chicken as well with that buttery steakhouse, you know, from Kinder's. Nothing better than that. But I do need to run to the store. I got to get some salmon. You know, I've been working with I don't even know what you would call it, but somebody that's pretty much helping me through the whole recovery process. Not my coach, not my PT therapist, my physical therapist, not physical therapist, my PT guy, somebody different. You know, he's helped me on the back end with some supplementation, some peptides, and just some other, like, it's even like holistic work, some like hippie stuff. But one thing, he told me to get a whole bunch of omega-3s in. So we're going to get some salmon, got to get some other healthy fats, get some avocados, some beef, you know, some nuts, nut butter. So we're going to head to the store. And, you know, once again, I just want to say thank you so much. You know, I don't think I can thank you guys enough. You know, it means so much to me, with all the love and all the support. You know, it's amazing. You guys are amazing. So thank you so much. I love you. And let's get in the car and go to the store. It's pretty good. I stopped at Walmart and picked a couple of these guys up. And, you know, these are my favorite energy drinks. I don't think there's anything better than this. But I want to show you guys the scars. They're I don't know if you can see that, but they're healing up pretty good. The scabbing is pretty minimal, And everything on the outside, for the most part, it's healed up pretty good. And I can take my braces off, by the way. When I drive, when I sleep, and just frequently throughout the day, because at this point, I think we're like 5.5 weeks post operation, and I'm starting to work in some light PT work, just daily like stretching and whatnot. And I'm really trying to push the limits with everything because I'm trying to get back into the gym and just training 100% as soon as possible. And bro, when I tell you I'm going crazy without the gym, like I feel like I'm clinically insane. Like I might need to check myself into a mental hospital. It's not that severe, but I'm going crazy. The gym is the one thing that really, I get into the gym, I get all my anger, my frustration out, all my worries, and it's 2 hours out of my day where I can just forget about everything, and that's my time. And with this, it was taken away from me. It's not something I can really, prevent. Just freak accident, but I'm trying to make the best out of a bad situation. With anything in life, good situations, bad situations, it's pretty much all perspective. You can make a bad situation bad, or you can make a bad situation good. I'm really trying to use this. I know there's some purpose that's way bigger than me. And it's crazy because I'm starting to dip into religion a little bit. I've never really been too deep into it, and it's funny because the first day that I prayed in months was the day that this happened. I was driving to the gym. I said my daily prayer, and well, I guess not daily. I guess at that point it'd be like a monthly prayer, but I said the prayer, get into the gym, and like that. And that night I'm in the hospital, 2 torn biceps, partially torn quad. And I don't really believe in coincidence that much, so I know that there's a reason behind all this. During that prayer, I asked God to help me find a deeper purpose in life, because I think that's something that I've been, starving of. I feel like I was put on this earth for a particular reason, and I just haven't been living up to that potential. And I know that this is something that is dragging me closer to that. Oh, fuck. If I move my arms in like a weird way or like the sudden movement, it hurts, bro. But I just step inside because I'm sitting in the Bronco and that thing eats gas. So I'm just watching the gas meter drop. But here we are. I'm in the new spot. I don't have any furniture yet, so I'm sitting on the kitchen counter. And yeah, like I was saying, I think there is a much bigger purpose behind all this. That's it's just way bigger than me. And one thing that I've been doing the past few weeks, I can't really do much. So one of the biggest things I've been doing is just thinking. And something that's continuously called to me is just this idea that God gave us arms and hands for a reason. It's either to build or destroy. And with the way social media is right now, there's a narrative that's being pushed of just going out and doing drugs and drinking, gambling, going out and getting girls, and I just can't really stand behind that. And I feel like what I want to leave with people is I want people to be the best version they can possibly be, the best possible you. And I think a big part of that is keeping everything good up in your mental. And I mentioned it before, but that's why I got this. And I want to read you the first journal entry that I did, because it kind of ties everything together. Here we go. I may be delusional or maybe just optimistic, but I'm grateful for all this. I asked God to help me find a deeper purpose in life, and that same day, I found myself in the hospital, unable to use my arms and can barely walk. And my quad is much better right now. I can walk. My arms aren't up to par yet, but I know that this is just something temporary. Whatever you go through in life, the good or the bad, it's just temporary. So I think the best way you can go about anything is just to really appreciate what's going on, because it's not going to be there forever, and you can learn a lot about not only yourself but just life in general. And I think it's really important just to attach to those things. But I don't pray much, and my goal is to do it more frequently. But what are the chances that the day I speak to God is the day my life gets flipped upside down? I don't see it as a punishment, as unfortunate as it is, but as a blessing that was disguised as chaos. And there's so many things that happen throughout life where you can. What are you doing, dude? Why are you upset? You've had me for the past 5 weeks. I haven't talked to them in a minute. You gotta share. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? But like I was saying, there's so much that happens in life where, I think everything, not only does it happen for a reason, but it happens to shape you to be the person that you're meant to be. And, it's pretty much up to you, which direction you take that. And I don't think you should let anything slip under the rug. If something's put into your life, it's put there for a reason, and you should try to use that to your advantage. But maybe he saw the parts of me that were too comfortable, too afraid, and too unwilling to let go. Maybe he knew that without the breaking, I'll never understand the beauty of surrender. I'm having a difficult time accepting what happened some days, and even a harder time with being honest about it and grateful for this. But I know deep down in my soul, it happened for a reason. And I continue to ponder and just really think about that, because some days they're more difficult than others. Everybody has a good day, everybody has a bad day, but I think it's really important to just make sure you have more good days than bad days. And another thing I can't get out of my head is, what if I didn't go to the gym that day? What if I was more on top of my blood work? What if I was more hydrated? What if I was, pretty much every element that goes into I guess tearing a muscle. What if I was a little bit better, so I didn't go through this? I think it's really important to just understand that the grass is never greener on the other side. All right, so we're back out in the car, and I didn't realize that I had a neighbor until right now. He's outside cutting the grass or trimming the trees or something. I've been here like, I don't know, 3-4 weeks, but I've never seen him yet. So we're wasting a little more gas, but that's okay. But pretty much what I was saying, the grass is never greener on the other side. And if you need a good read, I'm reading a book right now. It's called What is Happiness, written by a monk. And within the first chapter, it gives a really good example of this. But spending time and energy on things you can't control, it's a waste. It's a waste. It's you're better off doing things that actually benefit you. Like in my case, I could be doing a little more rehab, or some research, meal prepping, getting some steps in, a little bit of cardio, or even creating content. And obviously this differs person to person, but when you get into a bad cycle of thinking, at least for myself, something that has helped a lot is just immediately shutting it down, getting on my feet, and doing something that I actually I feel productive doing. And recently I've just been going for walks, but yeah, I think the best thing you can do right now, or at least I feel like I'm talking to myself, bro. See, I am going crazy, bro. But the best thing you can do is just be productive and shut down all that negative thinking. But I do want to give you a rundown of exactly what happened. I've been super quiet about it on socials. I haven't said anything, and I do have a video of it. But every time I watch the video, I cringe and I get chills. So I'm not gonna share the video, but I'll give you the story. And if you saw me at the Arnold, I think it was like 2-3 weeks ago, I told a whole bunch of people. And if I did see you there, thank you for showing up. It's always a great time meeting everybody. But pretty much what happened, I'm in the gym doing legs, which shocks everybody when I tell them. And I think their initial thought, everybody brings up the Callum Von Moger story where I think he's like curling 4 or 5 with Chris, and doing that like tandem curl. But that's not what happened. I wasn't doing anything stupid. I was doing, my normal training. I did my stretches, did all my warm up work, did some feeder sets leading up to this, and I end up on the leg press. And leg press is one of my favorite things to do. I think it's one of the best exercises to gain size in your legs, because you can manipulate the movement. So it targets, your backside, your quads. You can get some glute activation. Pretty much, it's an amazing piece of equipment. And now I'm fucking scared to use it, which I'm pissed off about. But I'm sure over time I'll get over that fear. And I jumped on there. I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, and I did 1 or 2 plates. But I had to break that bad cycle of thinking, and I had to redeem myself. So I did a set or 2 on that, and I left the gym with a smile on my face. But pretty much what happened, I work up to my top sets, and I wasn't doing anything stupid. Like I said, I try to train with intention, and I think that's the best possible way to train. So I work up to my top sets, doing 8 plates, and I do my first top set. It felt really fucking good, but I decided to keep the weight the same. And I jump in there, and on the very first rep, I feel my quad pop. And when that happened, I just got, I don't know exactly, I can't really relay the feeling, but I was fucking scared because, you know, pretty much 16 plates coming down on you is not a good feeling because I couldn't use my leg. And obviously I can't push it up with one leg. So I grab on really tight to the handles. And in the video, you can see I lean back just a little bit. And when I did that, holding onto the handles, you could see my biceps snap and roll up. And when it happened, I felt it was like pop, pop, pop. And I'm like, yo, what the actual fuck? And I think I actually say that in the video. And I was lucky enough to have two spotters, two of my boys. They pulled the weight off me, and I'm just sitting in the machine. And I have this realization of what happened, and I'm like, no fucking way. I'm like, no way. This is not real. This is not fucking happening. This is a nightmare. This is not true. Like, and I sit there for a second, and I finally get up, and I limp to the locker room. I take my shirt off, and I was wearing a long sleeve, so I couldn't see my arms. But as soon as I take it off, and I look at my arms, my biceps are pretty much gone. They're in my shoulders, and I'm like, fuck. This is when everything hit. So, you know, I didn't feel the pain. It was pretty much, I think my adrenaline was going like crazy. So I come to the realization of what happened, and I just start sweating profusely. I get nauseous. I'm about to throw up. I can barely, like, my vision goes black. I sit down. I'm like, fuck, boys. I don't know. I don't know exactly what to do here. But they're like, sit down for a second, chill. And I show them, and I'm like, yo, I tore both my biceps, and I think I tore my quad as well. And they're like, all right, let's get in the car, go to the hospital. So we go there, and they didn't do shit. Like, I don't know why they didn't do anything, but at this point I was in like excruciating pain, and they just sent me home. And it was only until like, I think it was 2 or 3 days later, I went to see a surgeon because it was the weekend, they were closed. And I finally see them. They confirm what happened, and I had 2 distal bicep tears and a partially torn quad. And they decided to end up doing the I give you the surgery breakdown, but they did the surgery on both arms at once. So I was under anesthesia for, I think it was like a good hour. And you know, when I woke up, that was the scariest experience that I've ever had, because I woke up, and you know, prior to the surgery, they told me that there's a potential that you can wake up and not feel your arms. Like there's parts of your arms you're not going to feel. They're going to be numb, and you're not going to get that sensation back. But when I wake up, I forgot that they put a nerve blocker in my arm. And pretty much what that does, it blocks any pain signaling to go to your brain, and you know, it pretty much feels paralyzed. And I'm laying there, and I wake up, and bro, it was my first time under anesthesia as well. And it was a very freaky experience, because you know, I'm talking to the nurses, and I'm just out, and then I feel like I wake right back up, and you know, obviously I'm all fucking bandaged up and in the hospital bed, and like, what the fuck happened? But I can't feel my arms, and you know, my mom's sitting beside me, and she realizes I wake up, and I just start fucking bawling my eyes out. And she's like, what's wrong? Are you in pain? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, no, I can't feel my arms. You know, I think I'm paralyzed. And you know, she starts freaking out a little bit. She gets the surgeon in there. She gets the anesthesiologist. She gets everybody in the fucking building. And bro, my mom is a G. Like, when some shit goes south, or you know, if I ever need anything, she's an amazing person. But she always has my back. But she calls everybody in, and they're like, yeah, it's just a nerve blocker. You'll start to get you'll get sensation back within, you know, an hour or two. And you know, even with that confirmation, I continued to cry, bro. And I was just so fucking scared. But after the surgery, I ended up getting a whole bunch of pain medication. I felt pretty good for like the first, I don't know, 8 hours. And then that night, all that stuff worn off. The anesthesia, the nerve blockers, the pain medication. And bro, I was sitting in my bed, or not on the bed, on the couch. Because also during this time I was moving, so all my shit was packed up. And pretty much all that was left was the couch. And I'm sitting there, and it might have been like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm not even kidding you. From 1 o'clock in the morning up until 8 o'clock in the morning, I was sitting there rocking, like, just back and forth, because I was in so much fucking pain. And it wasn't even my biceps, bro. It was my forearms, because when they drilled into it, it literally felt like somebody beat the shit out of my arms. The bat broke my bones, and like that. Let me tell you, that shit, that fucking hurt. That was the most pain I ever been through. But that is the breakdown of how I tore my biceps. And you know, it's unfortunate, but shit happens. You learn from it, you grow from it, and like I said, I think everything happens for a reason. So it is what it is. But I'm trying to make the best of it, you know. But let's go back inside, and I think he's done cutting his grass. I just saw him put the lawnmower away. So I'll see you inside. One thing I need from you guys, I need you not only to like, comment, subscribe in the video. We're almost at 100K, and the 100K plaque is the first thing that I want to hang in the new house. So let's hit that, and I need you guys to go to the gym, train hard as fuck, and I want you to tag me in your videos. Tag me on Instagram. I want to be able to live through you guys. I want to feel that energy, and you know, I need some of that in my life. So I'm leaving up to you. I need you to tag me in some videos and just go out there, take a little extra pre-workout, you know, hit some PRs, do whatever you got to do. But I miss it, bro. I miss it. So I'm gonna try to live through you. But yeah, thank you guys for watching the video, and like I said, everything, it really means a lot. All the love, all the support, and you know, I miss it, bro. But it's only temporary. The bad things, the good things, are only temporary. So try to appreciate them while they're there.